1 month ago, I was ranked 168k, barely clearing 3-star maps for 60 pp. After fixing 4 specific mistakes, I'm now 73k, consistently hitting 150 pp on 4.5-star maps. Most guides will tell you to just play more or build stamina, which is the advice that kept me stuck for months. What actually worked was changing how I practiced, and these 4 adjustments will work even if you're still struggling with 2-star maps. The first mistake I made was playing the same maps too often. When you limit your exposure to the same patterns, you're not actually improving, you're just memorizing them. You get good at those specific maps, but the moment you try something new, you just fall apart. Real improvement comes from being able to sight read and adapt to patterns that you've never seen before. So here's what I did instead. I started rotating through different maps within the same difficulty range. Instead of grinding the same 3-star maps until I could FC them blindfolded, I'd play a 3-star, move on to a different one, then another, constantly exposing myself to new patterns. The key is staying within a narrow star range, around 0.5 stars at most. So if you're comfortable with 3-star maps, play everything between 3 and 3.5. Don't jump to 4 stars yet, but don't keep replaying the same 3 maps either. This forces your brain to actually read the patterns instead of relying on muscle memory, and that's the skill that transfers. When you can sight read consistently, every new map becomes practice instead of a wall. The second mistake I made was prioritizing speed over accuracy. I'd see these insane players hitting 200 BPM streams and think that I need to play faster. So I'd push myself to hit notes quickly, but my timing was all over the place. What I didn't realize was that sloppy speed doesn't transfer to skill. If you're mashing through patterns and barely hitting the timing window, you're just building bad habits. You might clear the map, but if your accuracy is terrible, that tanks your performance points. Here's what actually works. Focus on getting clean hits first. After you finish a map, check your accuracy. Are you getting mostly perfects and greats, or are you flooded with goods and below? If your accuracy is consistently below 95%, you're playing too fast for your current skill level. So I had to slow down. I focused on nailing the timing window instead of just hitting the notes, and once my accuracy improved at my current level, the speed came naturally. You can't rush precision, but precision will make you faster over time, which helped me move from slower 3-star maps to the faster paced 4-star zone. The third mistake I made was expecting peak performance immediately. I'd boot up Osu, jump straight into a hard map, fail within 30 seconds, and think that I'm playing terrible today. Then I'd tilt and force myself to keep going. This is the mistake that definitely cost me the most progress. Your first 20 to 30 minutes aren't for setting records, they're for warming up. Your fingers need time to wake up. If you judge yourself by your first few plays, you're setting yourself up to tilt before you even start improving. So I began structuring my sessions. First 20 to 30 minutes on comfortable maps I can already clear, then I push into harder stuff. And I end on something easy and fun, not a tilted fail. Once I stopped expecting instant peak performance, I stopped tilting. And when you're not tilted, you actually improve. This single change probably added 20,000 ranks alone, not just because I played better, but because I actually enjoyed playing again. When every session doesn't feel like a struggle, you want to keep going. And that consistency is what drives real improvement. The fourth mistake I made was measuring my progress by my best play instead of my consistent plays. I'd hit one lucky 120 pp play and think, I'm a 120 pp player now. But then the next day I couldn't even break 80 pp, and it felt like I wasn't improving, like I plateaued. Here's the problem. One lucky play doesn't define your skill level. If it's not repeatable, it's not your real level. What actually matters is your baseline, and what you can do consistently. Here's what I started doing. At the end of each week, I'd look at my top 10 plays from that week. Then I'd compare it to the previous week's top 10. That's how you see real improvement. When I started tracking this way, I noticed my weekly top plays were averaging 60 to 70 pp. Midway through the month, I was already seeing 120 to 130 become normal. By the end, they were consistently in the 130 to 150 range. That's not luck, that's measurable progress. Once your baseline moves up, those lucky plays become normal. The 120 pp play that felt impossible becomes something you can repeat regularly. So stop judging yourself by one peak play. Track your weekly top 10, compare week to week, and you'll see exactly how fast you're improving. So, these are the 4 changes that took me from 168k to 73k in 1 month. But this is just the foundation. I'll continue posting useful content such as the exact maps I played, the settings that actually matter, and the drills that improve your rank the fastest. Subscribe so you don't miss out on them, and let me know in the comments which of these 4 changes you'll try first. Peace.